All right, let's talk about part 2 here, web metrics and KPIs before we get into the Google Analytics reports. So we evaluate how we're doing and meeting our business goals by assessing our reports and our dashboards, which will cover things such as visitor, traffic sources, audiences, locations, etc. And within our reports, there's really two key elements. You've got your dimension and you have your metric. So our dimension might be countries, for example, or sources, and then our metrics might be visitors, page views, bounce rate, time spent. Again, the various metrics I'm going to go over in this particular section are page views, visits, unique visitors, average visit duration, page views per visitor, and bounce rate. So let's just move into each of those. So a page view is one web page load in the user's browser. Total pages viewed for the time period under consideration. If a page is viewed by a visitor multiple times in the same session, it's going to be counted multiple times. Reloads are also counted. If that's not what you want, then you might want to consider unique page views. Visits. So the number of individual sessions initiated by all visitors to your site over a specified time period. So it's any number of page views in one setting or session. Is it industry standard the session expires after 30 minutes of inactivity or the user logs out? And hang tight, I will go over some examples here. After 12 hours, a new session is restarted. Users that leave their site and return within 30 minutes will be counted as a part of the original session unless they turn the browser off, and that's determined using cookies. And remember, cookies are browser specific. Okay, I'm sorry, that should say browser specific. So here's the deal. So I sat down at the computer, I start clicking away on your website, and let's say the phone rings. I pop up for 5 minutes, answer the phone, come right back, and continue clicking away on the website. That will still be one visit. Let's pretend like I sat down at the computer, clicking around. I get up, answer the phone, I talk for 32 minutes, come back, and continue clicking. That will count as a new second visit. My first visit will show the exit page as whatever the last link I clicked on. And my entry page on that new visit will be the first link I click on when I came back after I was done with my phone call. Let's do another scenario. I was on the computer, again, clicking away on your website. 11 hours, 12 hours, 12:01, boom, a new session is going to initiate. It assumes after 12 hours, enough's enough. It ends the first and starts the second session. Okay, so let's do one more scenario. I'm clicking away on the website. The phone rings. I'm gone for 5 minutes. I come back and I realize, you know what, that browser wasn't cooperating well. I close it down. I come in with another browser like Chrome and start tooling around again. It's going to be two separate visits. Okay, so that's really how the visits work. Unique visitor. That is the total number of unduplicated visitors to your website over the course of a period of time. So again, the time period is really critical here. So again, daily unique visitors, weekly unique visitors, monthly unique visitors. So I could have 2 visits within a day, but I'm one unique visitor for that day. Okay, so I want to make sure you guys are clear on that. So again, if we take a look at this little example here, what are the page views, visits, unique visitor counts for the week? So let me show you how to read this because we'll play this game in your homework as well. So the P3 there on Sunday for Perry means Perry came to the website and viewed 3 pages. The R2 on Sunday means Ryan came to the website and viewed 2 pages. Okay, so how many total page views for the week? Well, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 total page views. How many visits? So again, we have Perry for that week. Perry is 1, 2, 3, 4. Vina is 2. Ryan is 3. Kelly is 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 is total visits. And then total unique visitors, it's just 4. Perry, Vina, Ryan, and Kelly for the week. Let's do it again. Let's take a look at just Sunday and Friday. So let's pretend like on Sunday, Perry was there, but I forgot he was there at 2 different times. He was there at 9:20, viewed 2 pages, and he came back at 9:45 and viewed 3, and Ryan was there and viewed 2 pages. So what's total page views for Sunday? Well, Perry had a total of 5, Ryan 2, so a total of 7. How many visits? Well, because 9:20 and 9:45 are within 30 minutes of each other, that will be considered 1 visit unless I close my browser, for example, or deleted my cookies, okay? But if we assume that's not the case, that's the same visit, so it's only 2 visits, and it's 2 unique visitors. Let's take a look at Friday. Vina was there and viewed 1 page, but that was at 9. She came back at 12:30 and viewed 6, and we had Ryan at 2 and Kelly at 1. How many total page views? 7, 8, 9, 10 is the total number of page views. How many total visits? Well, Vina is more than 30 minutes apart, so therefore that's going to each be counted as a visit. So 2 visits for Vina, 1 for Ryan, 1 for Kelly, so that's 4 visits, and total unique visitors is 3. Unique page views basically dedupes at the user session level. So again, during my session or my visit, I might have went back to the home page 3 times. And then I saw also 2 other unique pages. So it's a total of 5 page views, but it is only 3 unique page views. It's the 2 that were each different plus the 1 home page that I viewed 3 times, but it's only going to count as 1. So 5 page views, 3 unique page views. Bounce rate. That's a percent of single page visitors, somebody who left your site from the landing page without going any deeper. Exit page is the last page viewed in the session or when the session expired after 30 minutes of inactivity. Time on site, again, from the initial landing to the last click is what time on site is. Remember, it doesn't count the time spent on that last page of your visit because I don't know how long you stayed there because you didn't click on anything else on my website. So I have no idea of knowing. You could have closed the browser down. You could have went off to a totally different website. I don't know. I'm not privy to that. All I can capture on my website is what you did on my website. So time on site is always going to be understated because I don't know how long you spent on that last page of the website. And keep in mind there's another issue with Google as well, which is unlike the other web tracking tools. For single page visitors, when Google is calculating time on site, Google will include single page bounces and assume they spent 0 seconds on the site. So if you have a website with a high bounce rate, that's going to really drag down your average time on site. So I want to make sure you are aware of that. Adobe Site Catalyst and the other tools do not do that. So measuring events. As I kind of said before, an event is something like click on a PDF file download, playing with a calculator, clicking on an exit link. Those are special Java code things you have to do. As campaigns, website, and apps become more dynamic and interactive, they grew a need to measure a new type of metric beyond simple page views, the event. An event represents an interaction of interest that occurs during a visit to your website. Events are tracked independently from traditional web page or screen loads, as I said before. Now, again, keep in mind, some people do tag them as page views, so I'm not a proponent of that because, again, I don't think downloading a PDF should be considered a page view. It's an event, so just be watchful for how events are being tagged. When we talk about looking at a conversion on our website and getting ready to define KPIs, again, you can have your macro conversion and you can have your micro conversion. So your macro conversion is the main outcome that you want your visitor to accomplish on the site. If your visitors could complete only one outcome, what would you like that to be during their visit? So it might be to make a purchase, for example. A micro conversion are things that are kind of supporting and helping support that overall conversion process. They're kind of leading indicators of the macro conversion. So this is a really cool graphic that I really love, showing micro conversions supporting the macro conversion process. So your macro conversion, as I said before, is orders, and then you got your micros, which are visits, product views, checkouts. And again, if you've got an issue with orders falling short, those are some of the things you're going to take a look at to help understand what's going on. And then you have other things like events, which again, you're going to have special JavaScript wrapped around it. How many people click on the Facebook like button? How many people are engaging in product comparison or looking at the product views? Things along those lines. You also have your conversion funnel, which we're aware of. Again, so let's take a look at one for university enrollment. Again, you could have your awareness, okay, through ads and online display ads. And then again, you've got your research and consideration phase where they are playing videos and doing downloads of the brochure, taking a virtual tour on your website. And then they're actually going to the lead gen form and applying. And then they're actually registering, and bing, that's where you have a purchase. The metrics hierarchy. So you have your KPIs, you have your secondary metrics, and you have your peripheral metrics. KPIs measure performance toward achieving the key business goal. Okay, so there it's probably most likely revenue for the most part for, let's say, an e-commerce site. For a media site, it could be video views or article views, for example. For secondary metrics, again, a little more granular information into actions that influence the KPI performance. So for e-commerce, it could be how many people start a shopping cart, for example. Okay, and then you got your peripheral metrics. Those are other things that are kind of going on. Are they registering for newsletters, things along those lines, etc. Again, if we look at a retail example, here we go. So the main KPIs are probably revenue, orders, conversion rate, visits, revenue per visit. You have your secondary metrics, might be store locator usage, units per transaction, how many units are they putting in the shopping cart, the average selling price, the average order volume. So, those are things that if they change, it doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. If it goes down, you don't know. You've got to look at something else. Whereas a KPI, if revenue is going down, that's not a good thing. You don't need to look at anything else. You got a problem. If the number of visits are going down, you're going to have a problem. If units per transaction are going down, you don't know, because it could be the products that they're putting in there are worth more money. So that's the easiest way for me to think of the difference between a KPI and a secondary metric. Again, with some help of KPIs, we've got the big book of key performance indicators out there, a great resource that helps you think through KPIs for all the different business models that are out there. So, what are the two key elements of any report? Well, that's basically your dimension and your metric. If a page is viewed by a visitor multiple times in the same session, is it counted multiple times for the page view metric? Yes, it is, but not for unique. As an industry standard, the session expires after 30 minutes of inactivity. A unique page view or page views deduped at the user session level. Time on site is underestimated for two reasons. What are they? Well, for Google they are, yes, because we don't count the time spent on the last page. We can't do that. And then also all of our bounces for Google are considered, they spent 0 seconds on the website. What is a bounce for a site? That is a percent of people that came to the site, viewed only one page and left. What is the bounce for a page? Well, bounce for a page I really didn't get into in here, but basically that is, so let's go over it now. And again, I do get into it into the next chapter. Bounce on a page are the percent of people that entered on that page and left from that page. But we'll talk about that later, don't worry. What are events? Events are ways to track things that are not standard page related, such as PDF file downloads, exit links, interacting with elements on the page. What's the purpose of a KPI? That's to monitor the success of your business, basically. That's your leading indicator. And what do secondary metrics typically answer? They help support what might be going on if we're seeing an issue with our KPIs.